Okay, I'm going to review the properties of log covered in lesson 7.4. You will be required to, given a log, evaluate it using the three properties that was covered in 7.4. I'll go over a couple of examples here, but be expected to do this on a review or check-in quiz. So first of all, we have log base 4 of 16 squared. And we're going to evaluate that using the product property. To recall, the product property says this: the log base b of m times n is equal to log base b of m plus log base b of n. So I can write log base 4 of 16 squared as log base 4 of 16 times 16, because 16 squared is 16 times 16. And then this is just going to be, using the property of logs. Let me erase that. Okay, using the property of logs, this will be log base 4 of 16 plus log base 4 of 16. And so this will equal 2 plus 2 equals 4. So 4. So log base 4 of 16 squared is 4. Now, we're going to evaluate the same log using the power property. And to recall, log base b of a raised to the p is equal to p. You bring the p down in front of the log, and then you're left with log base b of a. Okay, so let's use the power property for log base 4 of 16 squared. So we'll bring down the 2. So this will equal 2 times log base 4 of 16. Now log base 4 of 16 is 2, and then 2 times 2, so 2 times 2, that also equals 4. Right? And then the last property will be the inverse property, which says log base b of b raised to the x is just equal to x. All right, so let's do that one. So again, we'll start with log base 4 of 16 squared. Because I'm working in base 4, I have to write 16 as base 4, and so that will equal log base 4 of 4 squared, and then I have to remember that I'm squaring as well, so this would be 2, and then you use what you learned last trimester. When you take a power and raise it to a power, you multiply the exponent, so this will be log base 4 of 4 raised to 4, and that 2 will equal just 4. So there you go. Given this one log base 4 of 16 squared, I used all three properties, and I got the same answer. Okay, so that's what you should be able to do. Given a log, evaluate it using the three properties we covered. Okay, and then finally, as a last example here, let's take a look at log base 3, or log base 10 of 100 cubed. So again, I don't see a base here, so we assume that is base 10. Well, you don't assume it is, okay? So when you don't see a base there, we're always working with base 10. So again, we'll work with this one using the product property. Again, to recall, log base b of m times n is equal to log base b of m plus log base b of n. All right, so this will equal log base 10 of 1, or 10, or 100 I should say, times 100 times 100, because I have 100 multiplied 3 times. And then this will equal log base 100 plus log base 100 plus, kind of running out of room there, log base 10 of 100. All right. using the product property, and this will just equal 2 plus 2 plus 2, and that equals 6. Right. So that was using the product property. Well, let's do the same thing using the power property. Again, just to recall, log base b of a raised to the p is equal to p times log base b of a. So here we go. So log base 100 of 100 cubed. Because I'm working in base 10, I need to write 100 base 10. So this will equal log base 100. So 10 squared is 100. Oops, I'm sorry, I'm not using the power property, I'm using the inverse property. So let me back up here. So the inverse property, I need to bring the 3 down. Sorry about that, guys. So let me bring the 3 down. And so this is going to equal 3 times log of 100. And log of 100 is just equal to 2. So 3 times 2 equals 6. Okay, so that's what I got before. And again, my apologies. I was working ahead. I wanted to use the power property and not the inverse property. Okay, and so now we're going to use the inverse property. So again, to recall, log base b of b raised to the x is just equal to x. So here we go. So log base 10 of 100 cubed. Now, I already mentioned this, but I'm working in base 10, so I need to write 100 base 10. So this is going to equal log base, well, 100 is 10 squared, and then I'm going to raise that to the third. And so this will equal log base 10, 10 raised to the 6, and that 2 will equal 6. Okay, so there we go. So using all 3 properties, product, power, inverse, I got the same answer. And you should be able to do that. You're expected to be able to do that. So as practice for your check-in quiz, try and do these using all 3 properties. Log base 3 of 27 squared, and then log base 10 of 1,000 raised to the 4th. So try those, and you should get the same answer using all 3 properties.